It's me, your friendly outer space Doug. Hope y'all's doing good today. I'm doing fairly well. I had to work another 15-hour shift, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. A little slow, but things are good. It's kind of rainy, a little poopy out here today. Poopy, poop, 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 poop. But at least it's not super hot, so I got that going. Got that going for me. We got a couple people here in the chat. We got Eric Hawkins. We got Michael. We got Sam. We got Freddie Primo and Ashen Jackal. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Oh, man. Aha. Yeah. For lunch today, I actually got to go to a restaurant for the first time in forever. We went out to have some Mexican food at the local Mexican restaurant. Fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Great. It's good to get back to doing something sort of normal instead of, everything still being weird. It's still a little weird. We can't really go anywhere or do anything, but it was nice to go get some Mexican food. Sam says he's having a great Wednesday today personally. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. Now I'm going to talk about, the books that I usually bring up. We got Legends of Lone Wolf. Pretty much the only thing really left on here is the Brad Ashworth cover. If you want to order that, get on it because I'm ordering everything else to ship out. This will be the last thing that ships. We're doing the regular book, then the hardback, and then the Brad Ashworth ones. So get on that now while you still can. I'll be closing that down soon. Of course, the PDFs are up, so if you want to grab a PDF, it's up there. Then we've got Walmart Gold Standard. They have 1,007 backers with 9 days left. You can get the PDF. There are 9 copies of this book left. That's it. So if you've been waiting, you probably shouldn't wait much longer. Go and get this. This book will be delivered before you even know it. These guys are like the fastest in the indie comics world. And we got Saving the World #2 is still in demand. You can pick up #1 and you can get Saving the Universe. You can get digital, you can get print, whatever you want. Good stuff by Awesome Dude. Check that one out. Then we've got The Zombiful World of Oz #2. Share this link out. Get this. This needs to be like triple, quadruple what it is right now. It did pretty good on Kickstarter, but I want to see it do good here. So go and share that out. Really, really good stuff by Awesome Dude. Then we've got Thrashers, which is up to 612 with 23 backers, 19 days to go. Glad to see it fully funded, but it's another one of those that really, really should be way up there. I want to share this, but it won't let me copy the link. Here we go. Open that link, copy that link. Really looking forward to this one. I did some music. If you back this one, you get a free download of the music, which is really awesome. So go check that out. Good stuff, once again, by a good peoples. Today, usually I don't try to get into any kind of drama or any kind of stuff like that. And this is not anything. This kind of goes along with a little thought I've got for everybody today. Do. Our unofficial sponsor. They probably don't agree with anything I have to say, and they probably would like me canceled as well. But yeah, you can see the title of my show is canceled. We're seeing cancel culture just get worse and worse every day. If somebody We saw where Domino's was in trouble for liking a tweet to them by somebody. I don't know who he was, but it was like from 8 years ago, and they're catching crap for it. Mike Nelson has been catching crap for being on a podcast with dUgCaSt and Ethan Nicole, and that's the Audio Mullet podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts. It's a lot of fun, and all those guys are conservatives. And right now, if you have a idea or some kind of belief or anything that's different from the status quo, they want to run you out. If you're a Christian or you have any kind of morals and you think that people marrying dogs and cats is wrong, and pedophiles, and you're not for children having sex changes, and for dUgCaSt, it's just as simple as he doesn't approve of gay marriage. He's never said gay people should die or any of that stuff. It comes from a biblical standpoint. He doesn't believe in it. He doesn't. That's all he's ever said. He's not ever went out on the streets and been like, gay people should die. He talks to gay people. He has trans people on his shows, but for some reason, because of his beliefs, he is some kind of criminal. People don't like that, and so they want to cancel him and all the people around him. So they've been going after Mike Nelson, which is completely and utterly ridiculous. But it seems like Mike Nelson has buckled, and which is very sad. We see Doug's friends one after one. They come after him when they buckle, and they just kind of slink away. And it makes me feel bad for Doug. And it makes me feel bad for these people wanting to hide what they really think or what they believe to appeal to a bunch of weirdos. I just don't get it. So I was going to read this real quick, just in case you guys haven't seen. I know some of you guys aren't on Twitter and stuff like this. But here's a statement from Mike Nelson on the Riff Tracks Twitter. It says, "Hey everyone, Mike Nelson here. Thanks for your concern, and I appreciate the chance to address it. I started a podcast a few years back with dUgCaSt and Ethan Nicole, which because of time constraints I've pulled away from and become more of an infrequent guest. On certain recent episodes of which I did not take part, Doug made some statements that many found hurtful. I hope it's clear that those statements are Doug's and not mine, but listening to your concerns and taking them seriously, I have decided to end my involvement with the podcast. I sincerely apologize to anyone hurt by my participation in this podcast. I want to be clear that I denounce bias against anyone based on race, sexual orientation, or sexual identity. Thanks for hearing me out, Mike Nelson." So this makes it sound like Doug has said something racist or terrible. There's no actual quotes to what Doug said. It doesn't matter what Doug said. This is all pretty much comes across. I'm sorry that I'm friends with Doug and I won't do things with Doug anymore, because Doug is outspoken on his beliefs, and I really I'm just slightly disappointed. But I'm not really going into. I don't really want to talk about about this. I don't want to talk bad about Mike Nelson. I know it's a scary thing to be canceled. This is how Mike makes money, and I know they were tagging the guy he works with, and I know they caused a bunch of trouble. It's scary. This stuff doesn't involve my job. It doesn't involve the way I make a living. I don't have a wife or kids or anything to support, so I can't really comment on that. I'm disappointed, but at the same time, I'm not in his position. I do like what Skinny said. You have Skinny right here. Y'all know how Skinny is. And I'm gonna change this word here because I just don't like to use a lot of off-color language, especially not on my show. But it's a statement from a fan. I don't support wieners. I've changed this word there. Wieners or anyone who enables cancel culture. I'll be closing my wallet to Riff Tracks and anything y'all are involved in. I can't tolerate throwing friends under the bus to appease strangers who never bought your stuff to begin with. And this is the thing. Those people never listened to the podcast. They don't even know what was said. Somebody decided they didn't like Doug and knew that they could hurt Doug by going after his friends. And this is the whole thing about cancel culture. We live in a culture now where if you don't like something, it shouldn't exist. Or you don't like what somebody over here said, so they shouldn't have the right to say anything. That's not how America works. The rest of the world, I don't know. But I know in America, I have the rights to say whatever I want to. And once again, it goes back, as long as I'm not infringing on somebody else's rights. But it's not like Doug was standing on a street corner, or Doug was, handing out pamphlets at Walmart for the KKK. Doug had a show where Doug says things that Doug says. Some of the stuff he says, it's a little rough sometimes. But Doug never once said anything racist or terrible. He did say a couple words that are frowned on now, but they still use them on South Park, so whatever, take that up with him. But if you don't like something, why can't... that's just something I never got. I was always taught if you don't like something, just, avoid it or go away. It's not like this was popped in everybody's homes and they had to see it, or played on the radio where they had to hear it. You had to go out of your way to download this podcast and listen to it. So, if Mike Nelson's on a podcast where somebody says something and you don't like what they say, who cares? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I don't understand it. There's a lot of people. They want to act crazy about this, but how many people have been canceled over being friends with Harvey Weinstein, or however you say his name, the guy that sexually assaulted half of Hollywood with the help of the other half of Hollywood? It's I don't see this big outroar of that. But if somebody's a Christian, or if somebody doesn't support Black Lives Matter, which who knows, I might get canceled right here. Black Lives Matter, their statement on their website has nothing to do with Black lives. It's mostly a front for socialism. Go and read their mission statement. It's a lot of really freaky stuff that has nothing to do with making anybody's life better. Sam in the chat, Sam saying people who think that men or women or that children should not be left alone will say or do anything in order to keep your distance from them. And Sam also says, demanding that you only associate with people whom you agree with is utterly absurd and anti-free speech. Exactly. We got Jay Woodward in here. Jay's an old friend from back in the day. Jay says, rare moment where I get to watch you. Cancel culture is the worst. It really is. It's getting to a point where people's going after people's jobs. It makes me worry about people who go to church and people who are just openly Christians, or people who we're to a point now. People are getting canceled if they didn't virtue signal to Black Lives Matter. If you didn't get on your social media and black it out, or post some kind of virtue signal, people are getting canceled for that. They're like, oh, silence is being complicit. And it's like, no, it's not. It's ridiculous. So now, if you say the wrong thing, you can get canceled. If you don't say the right thing, you can get canceled. So they're trying to make it to where you have to take a side in this nonsense. Eric Hawkins says Black Lives Matter didn't matter to Officer Dorn here in St. Louis, or in Chicago every weekend when there are dozens of murders and people shot. Well, one thing that I appreciate about Doug TenNapel, and this is something he's been saying from the very start, Black lives don't matter to those people, or they would try to stop abortions. There are more black children aborted every day than any other race, and they're still a minority. it's ridiculous how many black children are destroyed in the womb. I'm not a fan of abortion, and you want to know where I stand politically? I'm somewhat like Mr. Tenaple. Um, I am my big thing is abortion. If I don't care if somebody comes out and says, everybody's getting candy every day and you don't have to work and you get free checks and everything will be good as long as we abort all these babies. Then you got the guy over here saying, well, we're not aborting babies and you got to go to work 40 hours a week and you got to do all this stuff and you're going to have to get, just a lot of crap you don't like. I probably, as bad as I hate to, still going to have to go with the not abortion person. We've tried to convince, and now here I'm going to preach to you guys. Like I said, I didn't really want to get into this stuff. This is just, it bothers me some. And if you guys don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to watch. But, whatever. It's sad. But we've spent years and years, people in college and all these other places, trying to teach everybody and say that a fetus is not a baby, it's not alive, it's just a clump of cells and all this stuff. General Grudge says, I'm here to cancel Doug. I hope I'm not too late. I'm giving out content now that you can get me canceled. I am not pro-choice. I am pro-life. Instead of teaching people that these fetuses are living creatures, that they're babies and that they're alive and they deserve the chance to live. That's wrong. I cannot be a party to that. And here's something else I'm going to say. It's going to make some of you people upset. I don't know how you can be a Christian and say that you're okay with abortion. I don't know how you can say you're a Christian that somebody has a choice to murder a baby. I don't get it. So, sorry if I lose all my subscribers and all that stuff. Today's just one of those days, and I'm sorry. Eric Hawkins says, I understand occasionally there are medical reasons for an abortion, but never should it be used as birth control the way it's used now. It makes me angry. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what they're trying to, that's why they teach people. I've seen videos where people have been standing in the parking lot and they have explained to these people going in that that's a baby. That's not just a clump of cells. That's this. And there's a lot of, I used to go when I was a kid, went to this church, and they had the pamphlets that showed abortions, had pictures, had all this stuff, had what they done with the body parts. They just throw them in bags. Now they sell body parts and they do experiments on them and everything else. That's like something out of like a nightmare. I mean, it's well, see, HG, that's the thing. If you don't believe in God and all that stuff, that's one thing. But to say you believe in God and to say you're a Christian and to say that you follow the Bible, you can't. I mean, you can't. That's like saying, well, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe Jesus was really the Son of God. It's like, well, then how are you a Christian? I believe Jesus was just a real good teacher. Well, how are you a Christian? It just don't make sense to me. It does not make sense. And if you don't believe that, that's fine. I'm not trying to cancel you. You can believe whatever you want to. We live in a world where you can believe whatever you want to. Well, here in America, you're supposed to be able to. And that's what I believe. And if you don't believe that, you can go your own way. You don't have to come here and watch my show. But the thing is, now I've said that, and somebody who doesn't like what I say now will do copyright claims or some kind of thing, say I threaten violence or whatever, to get my channel pulled down. We see a lot of this nonsense. I see it all the time. You got people arguing against cancel culture, and they're taking screenshots and anything they can. to try to cancel somebody else because they don't like them and don't like what they say and all stuff. Don't buy their stuff. Don't subscribe to the YouTube. Don't follow them on Twitter. Go do something else. Sorry that things is a little serious today. I just saw that and it just been on my mind, you know. I don't know. The world is so crazy. If when I was in high school 20 something years ago and you told me it was going to be like this by the time I was in my 30s, I would have laughed at you. I was like, no way. Especially not here where I live. It's such a mess now. Things are so crazy. HG says, I love watching your show. I'm not that easy to get rid of. Well, I like having you here. I like being able to talk to everybody about everything. And Jay Woodward says, let's cancel Planned Parenthood. You know, people want to say that's alright and whatever. And you can believe whatever you want to. But I refuse to believe that should be legal. But you don't see me out burning things down and you know, it's just a scary, weird, strange world we live in. Very, very, very scary. But this is one thing I was going to get at before I went off on my tangent. This is something I see people doing. We need to build our own platforms. We need to work together, have our own voice, have our own support systems, so that when these people come at us, it doesn't matter. Eric says it used to be people didn't talk about abortion, politics, or religion. Now that is all they talk about. I know, it's so crazy. Like when I was in high school, it didn't matter. Even in my early 20s. It didn't matter what you thought about any of that. You could go and you could vote on it. You know, you voted however you wanted to. If you were somewhere, you could talk about it or amongst your friends or whatever. But it wasn't everything everybody talked about nonstop all the time. Sam's dropping links there in the chat. Says take a look at Florida Man by Mike Barron and Todd Mulrooney. Let me pop that up here real quick. I like Mike Barron quite a bit. He's a good dude. So yeah, they're about halfway funded. Well, not halfway, 35%. But Mike Barron is a great writer. The art on this is fantastic looking. I bet it's just gonna be hilarious. And we've all heard about Florida Man. You see the articles all the time, all this crazy stuff. So there's no wonder what might be in this book. So go give that a look. He already dropped the link, so go check that out. But like I was saying, we all need to build our own support systems, work together, work in groups, and keep our content flowing up there. HG says, speaking of cancel, I just got banned from the SWC Discord server. Oh well. Yeah, I want to see that book succeed. I like Mike Barron. He's a good dude. He is a great writer. Did some great stuff back in the day. Well, I just got a message that up at my dad's house, they got supper. They got some pizza. I'm going to wrap this thing up and go eat some pizza. But, keep in mind what I was talking about, guys. Let's work together. Let's build our own network. That's one thing that the underground comics thing. For some reason, I can't remember my own website. The Comics Underground. It's just about networking. I want to build stuff like that up. I want to have a place for us to all go, see each other's projects, stuff like that. And that's what Gravestone Press is about. Is helping me and my friends, helping get books out into the world. I'd like to see people doing their own shows. I'd like to see like Riff Tracks is crowdfunded. I'd like to see somebody do something similar that's convertible. No, there is no pineapple on that pizza. That's a crime. I don't know what kind it is, but I know there ain't no pineapple on it. So I'm gonna wrap this up and go. But probably try to stream tomorrow sometime, depending on what's going on. But hope you all have a good evening and have a good day. And don't let people cancel you. Don't be afraid of what people might do or say. There's more people out there who's got your back and agree with you than what you know. Like that's the thing. I believe if Mike Nelson, like Skinny was saying earlier, if he'd have just up and quit, the fan base, over half of them would have went with him. They would have been complicit to that. It's so ridiculous that people can just say something and everybody goes along with it instead of going to do any kind of research themselves. Freddie Primo says biscuits and gravy pizza. Yeah, I'd eat that. That sounds good to me. Sounds real good. But anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Yins have a good one, and I will talk at yins later. Bye.